I'm Tom, bike packer, ultra racer and all-round cycling fanatic, and today I'm bringing you a new gravel route taken in 3 different counties. So join me for the Tri-County Gravel Spectacular. We're out of Ringwood, back onto the Castleman Trailway, bringing you another route to enjoy. Castleman Trailway, a top quality gravel expressway. We are into the gravel trails of Moors Valley Country Park. So this route, as I say, is the Tri-County Spectacular. Starting off in Hampshire and Ringwood, we then crossed over into Dorset a minute ago on the Trailway, and we're heading up to Wiltshire, where we'll spend a bit of time on a lovely ridge line with some great views before making our way back into Dorset, across to Shaftesbury, down to Blandford, back across to Wimborne and home to Ringwood. The route is about 68 miles, 110 kilometres, so a little bit more climbing than my previous routes in the forest. It's about 800 metres of climbing. Most of it's done in the first sort of half of the ride, so you're climbing up towards Shaftesbury. So you could choose to start this ride in a different place. You could start it in Wimborne, Moors Valley Country Park, up in Shaftesbury, or anywhere you can really park. It's also pretty accessible from Bournemouth or Poole. So again, if you wanted to travel by train rather than drive down, you could get the train there. So just working our way around Moors Valley Country Park on this big wide gravel path. In a minute we'll be down at the visitor centre, where there's lots of amenities, toilets, cafe, water, that kind of thing. Never too far from a resupply on this route, and never too far from some nice trails and amazing views. This route has got a little bit of Moors Valley Blue Trail in it, but as you can see, it's flat, winds through the trees, and isn't too technical. And we're only on it for a little time before we're back on some wider gravel paths, heading across to Verwood Forest. After weeks and weeks of sunshine and dry weather, we've had some rain and there are some puddles. I'm going to jump off, push my bike round and not get my feet too wet too early on. Of course, we're out here for most of the day, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities to get wet and muddy. Oh, that's better. Back on the lovely champagne gravel. Into Verwood Forest. Oh, there's a puddle. Oh, got a wet bum now. This route's got a bit of everything, probably the quintessential British gravel ride. There are quiet country roads, there's wide champagne gravel, there's a few chalky ridgeline trails and climbs. There are no less than 2 disused railway lines, and undoubtedly there will be a bit of field edge gravel, which we all love and enjoy. Anyone that's done one of my New Forest routes, Verwood Forest is pretty similar in terms of the golden champagne-esque nature of it. Got a few ominous looking clouds up there, so fingers crossed. Hey, not too overgrown just yet. I am doing this ride towards the end of April, so stuff's starting to grow, but nothing too bad. Now I think we've got a reasonably fun drop down to Alderholt after that forest section. At least I remember it being slightly fun when I came down here last time. Wind your way through this gorse. Oh, it's a bit spiky in places. Oh god. Ow. There you go, Mr. Technical Rider there, showing off his abilities. Oh. Although it's not quite as easy when you're holding the camera at the same time. A bit wider. So yeah, dropping down to Alderholt was a co-op if you wanted a resupply. So that was Moors Valley Country Park. Verwood Forest. Now we're just going through Alderholt, where I say there is a co-op and a few pubs. And after those gravel sections, we've now got a bit of a stint on some of these reasonably quiet Dorset, Wiltshire roads. So nice seeing all the trees back in leaf again. Camera might not pick it up, but woods are looking lovely with all the bluebells. Now onto a bit of a drag. Start with some of the tarmac before we head off road, climbing up to the top of Martin Down, where there are some lovely views and a good descent. Lovely little Dorset lanes, and obviously quite gravelly in themselves. Give them a go. Yeah. That was about 6 miles on the road. Now we're back off road again towards the top of this climb, and as you might be able to tell, it's quite windy. Onto this lovely Okay, slightly chalky climb. Martin down. There's some like hill fort here or something. Probably should have read the sign a bit better. We're going to go downhill into the valley. We go on a road for a very short amount of time, and then I think we wind our way up onto that ridgeline in the distance somewhere. Woo! Little hill, a little drag. Oh dear, should have changed gear. Oh, it's one of the downsides having the camera in your hand. Yeah, I went down there when I did the Dorset Divide last year, and I think it was a lovely sunset, but it's quite a fun descent. We're now in Wiltshire, so technically we've done the Tri-County now, and another gravel typology to add to our mix, which is high class, the Field Edge rutted gravel. Oh, this is bumpy. So just about to leave Martin down. A little stint on the main road, quarter of a mile if that, and then we turn off road and go uphill onto that lovely chalky ridge. Same main road, but as you can see, it's not actually very busy. And then we go back off that road. Another gate, 2 gates. Another British gravel classic. Opening and closing gates. And a third. Oh no, we don't have to go through that one. You can go through it if you want, that little bonus one. But we're back onto some lovely Field Edge gravel before we start that climb up to the ridge. If you're liking the look of this route, the description has a link to the route file so you can do it yourself. And if you enjoy it, check out my channel for more rides and adventures. And I really like it if you could subscribe and like for more. So they go into the woods on this climb. Nothing too steep, it's pretty gradual. Spinning those legs and you'll get to the top in no time. Smells lovely in here today, wild garlic. Still climbing on this sort of slippery-ish double track. Again, mainly because it's been raining all last night. Onto the Ox Drove, which is on that ridge line, this bit on the road. In a minute we'll be turning off, or carrying on straight ahead actually onto some gravel. But the views are getting good now. See down into the valley below. Woo! Just love it along here. It's fast rolling, even more so when it's completely dry, and it's got some stunning views either side. Just as we make our way over to Wimborne, a quick stop for some snacks, which today are very scientific and very expensive, and include Rice Krispie squares, a bit of a battered cream egg, and the all reliable bottle of sugar water. More views. Love this view over there, the trees on top of that hill. That's Wimborne, that's where we're going, which is like the high point of the ride. And we're on this chalky winding path on this ridge line. Mega. And we're at the top. Stunning views. Woo! It's Wimborne, little tree circle. Catch my breath, and then we've got what is probably one of the best road descents in the whole of Dorset. So that was a wonderful zigzag descent, and we're now gone through Cranborne, working our way round to the back of Shaftesbury. There's a little bonus climb coming up, which you can avoid if you don't want to do it. You can sort of head straight to Shaftesbury and rejoin the route in the town. So onto this climb around the back of Shaftesbury, starting on the road, and it goes off-road and quite steep, so there could be a little bit of walking. You know it's slow when the Garmin auto pauses. Oh, that's the steepest bit done, but it's still going up, not too much further, and then it's more of a gradual climb into the town. Heading towards Shaftesbury and the town centre before we drop down the cobbled Gold Hill, made famous by Hovis adverts. It's very steep, very cobbled, not as much fun going up, but it's quite nice going down. So we're in Shaftesbury, that free water tap, about to go down Gold Hill. This is a pretty good place to stop for some food. But as you know, got my Rice Krispie squares and sugar water, so no stopping for me. Here we go, it's steep and it's a bit slippy. Glad I'm going down, not up. That was Shaftesbury and Gold Hill. Now heading out of Shaftesbury on these little back roads back into Dorset. Next stop is Blandford. It's a little chunk on the road now, quiet lanes, get the average speed up a little, and then we drop down into Blandford. More of these Dorset lanes which are covered in gravel. What I should have said before we get to Blandford is we do the North Dorset Trailway, another disused railway line. But at the moment we're back on the little tarmac climb. 5-6 miles on the road. We're now back to some field edge gravel with a view. Rutty. Oh, crikey. Anyone that's ridden gravel in the UK knows that this is prime UK gravel, riding around the edge of a field. Absolutely wonderful. And you can see Hambledon Hill in the distance, not too far away. We're not going over it today, but you can change the route if you want a bit of an extra challenge. Just coming into Child Oakford, be a nice little village to stop for an ice cream if it wasn't 10 degrees. As you'll have seen, I've been doing it on a mountain bike because in part my gravel bike is still in a state of disrepair. But there isn't anything too technical on this route. Probably the most technical stuff is up by Wingreen, but nothing that you wouldn't find on a route like the King Alfred Way that goes up onto the South Downs. So I think mountain bike, gravel bike, either or will be fine. Both will have their pros and cons in different places. There's those bluebells. Here we go, onto the trailway that'll take us down to Blandford. Up and onto the trailway properly. Disused railway line. Had my morale boosting cream egg. Very glum afternoon, very grey after that lovely weather we've had at the start of April. There you go, North Dorset Trailway. And just arrived into Blandford. Straight ahead we're going, and there's an M&S on the right. So we're leaving Blandford, rather than going on the busy road, we're going underneath it. Just be careful not to fall in the river. And that was Blandford, and we're now on another quiet Dorset back road that will take us all the way to Wimborne, about 11 miles away. Reasonably flat. It's probably quite fast on a gravel bike. And when we get to Wimborne, we'll be going on another disused railway line. I think we've got a bit of a tailwind at the moment. Can't complain about that. Shappick. Pretty much following the course of a river to Wimborne. Oh, hello. So we're out of Wimborne onto this big old cycle path, which if you don't use it, some people go absolutely nuts. That's more like it. Out of Wimborne, out of that traffic, and onto the Castleman Trailway. We've got 9 miles back to Ringwood. I did that road section from Blandford to Wimborne just to tick off a few miles quite quickly. The slower bit of the ride is probably the start, where you're climbing up to Shaftesbury, taking in those views, and then when your legs are a bit tired, it's quite nice just to be able to spin along, tick off some miles and get back towards the finish. Just coming through Westmoors before we turn onto the trailway again. You go through a little cul-de-sac and then you're back on the expressway. This is the gravel expressway. That'll pretty much take us all the way to Ringwood. Okay, there's a little bit of an issue with the route, and I haven't quite linked it back to Ringwood. As you can see, stand the ride's over. But we've probably got about 2 more miles to go on this pretty flat gravel, so see it as a little bonus. I'll make sure the route file is corrected in the link below. Heading back to Ringwood. So there we are, back in Ringwood town centre. As you can see, my legs are rather muddy, so is the bike, so hopefully I've taken one for the team so that when you do it, it'll be nice and dry. Ride time was just over 5 hours, which wasn't too bad considering it wasn't perfect conditions. If you've got any questions about the ride, drop them in the comments below. And if you do it, let me know whether you liked it or not. See you in the next one.